Good morning, my dear boys of class 12. Today, I am going to complete a topic Newton's laws of motion and their application in sports. You know very well that there are three laws of motions: first law of motion, second law of motion, and third law of motion, which are very much applicable in sports. This topic today I am going to discuss. And what are the applications of law of inertia? What are the applications of law of acceleration? What is the application of law of reaction in sports? And these are very much applied, and I am very much confident that you know all these things because most of you have studied physics in your lower classes, even in 11th and 12th, those who have taken science stream. So, but what are the applications of Newton's laws of motion in games and sports? This is today's topic of discussion. The first law of motion, if I am not mistaken, that is known as the law of inertia. Law of inertia. A body at rest will remain at rest, and a body in motion will remain in motion unless and until it is intervened and interfered by external force. This is first law of motion, which is known as law of inertia. We studied it 37 years back. आज फिर तुम लोगों को पढ़ा रहे हैं. This is law of inertia. तो this is the first law of motion. A body continues, in some other words, it may be said that a body continues to remain in the state of rest or in uniform motion in a straight line unless it is compelled means intervened or interfered by an external force to change the state. जब तक बाहर का कोई चीज़ इस पे नहीं दखल अंदाजी करेंगे तब तक ये यूनिफॉर्म स्पीड इनका सेम डायरेक्शन में चलते रहेंगे. दिस इज लॉ ऑफ इनर्शिया. नाउ व्हाट इज द लॉ ऑफ इनर्शिया? व्हाट इज द एप्लीकेशन ऑफ लॉ ऑफ इनर्शिया इन स्पोर्ट्स? तो एप्लीकेशन इन स्पोर्ट्स क्या है? ए रनर एट द स्टार्टिंग रिमेन स्टिल, ही विल रिमेन स्टिल. ए डाइवर बिफोर डाइव इज इन ए स्टेडी पोजिशन. ए साइक्लिस्ट एट द स्टार्ट ऑफ द रेस remain static unless he starts cycling, pedaling. Number 4, a cyclist moves at a constant speed until and unless he applies brakes or she applies brakes. So this is law of inertia. Once the object is in state, it will remain in static position still, and once it starts movement, it will remain in movement in the same direction until the brakes are applied. So these are the applications. Second law of motion. Second law of motion, this is known as law of acceleration. The acceleration produced in a body is proportional to the force applied. Force is equal to mass into acceleration. ये आप जानते ही होंगे. नाउ व्हाट इज द एप्लीकेशन? व्हाट इज द एप्लीकेशन ऑफ लॉ ऑफ एक्सीलरेशन इन स्पोर्ट्स? द मोर फोर्स इज अप्लाइड ऑन ए शॉर्ट पुट. नंबर 1, शॉर्ट पुट के ऊपर जितना फोर्स हम अप्लाई करते हैं, द मोर स्पीड और एक्सीलरेशन इट विल अटेन. ठीक है? द मोर फोर्स इज अप्लाइड ऑन ए शॉर्ट पुट, द मोर स्पीड acceleration the shot put will attain. Number 1, this is the easiest instance. Throwing a ball in cricket, baseball requires force. The more you apply force, the faster the arm swings, greater the speed it attains. Number 2, this is the second instance example. These are the examples of law of acceleration. And third law of motion, very easy. For every action, there is an always an equal and opposite reaction. And it is very much true. It is very much applicable in games and sports, because while running we push the field, field pushes us and we can run. ए शूटर एक्सपीरियंस है जार्क, जब शूटिंग चलते हैं 303 या जो भी हो, तो व्हेन द ट्रिगर इज, जब ट्रिगर को दबाया जाता है, व्हेन द बुलेट इज शॉट, एक झटका महसूस होता है व्हेन ए शूटर फायर्स ए गन. सो ए शूटर एक्सपीरियंसेस ए बैकवर्ड थ्रस्ट फोर्स व्हेन ही शूट्स द गन. सो these are the application of Newton's third law of motion. So everything is given in the note. Go through it and do it. Thank you very much.